And welcome to this week's Let's Play special, because let's be honest, Vectorman is not a long game. It will take less than a week, but as I've stated before, I'm doing these shorter Let's Plays up until I get a PS5, where I can get away with doing longer projects, since you can't carry over footage between platforms. Vectorman is an interesting little game, but not one I go back to often. It does, however, have one of the dumbest villains in existence, as I'll get to in a second. It's 2049 and Earth's cities, forests, and ice caps are fouled with toxic sludge. Humanity has escaped the stars, leaving mechanical Autobots to clean up. One powerful Autobot, Racer, oversees the cleanup through planet-wide comnet. Tragedy strikes when an error, attendants connect a salvaged nuclear bomb to Racer's master control circuits. Warhead is born, and he stands for tyranny, hatred, and oppression. By Warhead's decree, Earth is forged into an instrument of death for the returning humans. Vectorman lands his space barge after delivering a load of sludge to the sun. Unhindered by the evil mind control, he will not rest until Warhead is defeated and the Earth is again free. Yeah, Warhead's the main big bad. He became the main big bad because he was a good robot that then got a nuke strapped to him. That's it. That's enough to make you a warlord. And that stands for tyranny, hatred, and oppression, apparently. But this game's got a simple enough concept that you can tell it's kind of early to mid-era Mega Drive because the way it handles its graphics and effects. You take 4 hits before you go down, but most enemies will drop an extra hit. Those 4 white dots in the bottom middle of the screen are your health. You can get it extended, like in several different points in the game, but off the top of my head I only know where 1 is, so we might end up with only 5 health units. The TVs you find around are always worth destroying because they'll usually give you something worth the merit. It's rare that they'll give you just the shines, which are these collecting things that you see around. The shines don't really have much of a purpose other than score boosting, but who cares about score nowadays, so I'm really not that fussed about them. It's the TVs you want to break, because they can give you power-ups. Half the power-ups change your weapon for so many shots, and half the power-ups change your performance and what Vectorman will transform into for a set amount of time. Get used to crouch shooting. Most enemies shoot at head level when they attack you back, so if you crouch, you'll be fine. That din 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 you can hear is us running out of shots in our current pellets. See, it's gone, so now we're back to normal. Get used to where Vectorman will aim and how he does his aiming depending on what slope you're on. His aim will be slightly shifted depending on where you're aiming. Oh, the rapid fire. The rapid fire shot is affected by gravity, so be wary. That blue edged white orb you saw there, where it's like there was like blue triangles coming out of it, they're checkpoints. You touch them, death will take you back to the last one you touched. So the fact that they're hidden in TVs gives you even more reason to want to break them, because there will almost always be a TV like specifically placed halfway through the level and specifically placed just before a boss of a level. Meanwhile, the red one that we just picked up there is a time extension because you've only got so much time to beat each level. The first level of the game is a pretty decent length to get you the feel of things, but oh, there's the boss checkpoint I was on about, because dropping down here starts the boss fight. And if you jumped over to the other side, there were extra goodies to pick up that I probably should have gone for, but oh well. This boss is pretty easy. If you keep moving with it, it'll probably never hit you. And it's when the bomb doors are open, you can shoot into it to damage it. But then it is the very first boss of the game, it's not going to be complicated. To be fair, most of the bosses in this game aren't that bad. There's a couple that just catch you off guard because they just got you and you go, oh, alright, and you might die to a time or two. And the final boss, it's kind of chance how often you get hit. Like, you can, like, power your way through it, but it does feel like sometimes you do just get walloped for no good reason. Also, like, photons, not shines. They're little things we're picking up. Additionally, every now and then there is an odd special level where you fight in a unique terrain to fight against a boss of some kind. Like this guy, you're just shooting the fingertips until it breaks down and jumping every now and then. Because for some reason you're in a tank train thing now. You see, it's already over. But it's a good way of banking up an extra life, as you saw. As we go into the next level, Tidal Surge. The levels are divided by days. And I think it's like day 15 or day 16 is the last level. So like, in fact, we're already on day 3, and we're 5 minutes in. Yeah, this Let's Play will probably be about 3 parts long at most. Like, some of the later levels do get a bit longer, but that's about it. And if you hear a lot of background noise, you have to forgive it. But like, for some reason, it's a very busy day in the roads, despite the fact it's lashing it down with rain. Like, I would have recorded this sooner, but there was construction going on outside, and it was like a very small amount of construction, so they didn't do any road works. It was like a telephone pole it looked like they were fixing. So they brought everyone out and started drilling like psychos for some reason. And also, yeah, after the tutorial level, the first location you go to is an underwater stage. Great way of selling the game there, Blue Sky Entertainment. You really you nearly knew what the audience wanted. I say that I've never finished Vectorman 2 because I just couldn't really get into it the same way I got into this one. So maybe that one like has better level design as a whole. In fact, this game doesn't have bad level design. It's just, why would you go to the water level first? Ow. And these turrets these turrets are like the only enemy that I'm pretty sure is 100% universal. It's for another power up. It's the bomb. Yes, you literally just become an atom bomb. Bring it over here and blow it up. He'll crack open the door so you can get in. Ow. The turrets are another enemy though that can only shoot at head height when you're facing them flat. The swimming power-up will allow you to... it counts as an invincibility. You just go through the water quicker. So just push. But oh wait, you can't push that far because it's this level. So making that power-up feel a lot more pointless. But yes, that power-up makes you invincible in the water, so if you get it and then power through a large stretch of the level, you can make the most of it. Almost every transformation power-up makes you invincible for the while you have it, so make the most of it. There is no like default old-school invincibility box or anything of the sort in this game. These, like, the bubble jellyfish, I think they're called, they're annoying to deal with just because, like, they have a deceptively large amount of health and their body parts grow back so damn quickly. These guys, you have to kind of get under them to shoot up to kill them quickly, but if you miss your shot, the bubbles will come back and wallop you, so you'll take a free hit for it. And whatever health you finish the level on is the health you will start the next level on. So your health always matters. If you're near the end of the level, don't think you can just bum rush it, because you will go into the next level with as many hits as you left the last. Which I'm sure will happen a couple times where I'll have to play levels extremely safe because there'll only be one hit away from death when I start. But this is why I made a swim power up. You can just swim straight through these mines. And enemies, and they'll just all die. As I get stuck on the scenery. It matters, we're right here. The turrets can shoot diagonal downwards, but you have to be like diagonal underneath them for them to try, like you just saw there. And they're deceptively well placed when they shoot diagonally downwards. Like, they will more often than not catch you. Is this a bomb? Yeah, it is. The way you kind of dived down. The bomb does double up as a screen nuke as well, but it's not as good as the proper screen nuke power up in this game. Just because it's not as fast. The actual screen nuke power up in the game, well, this, you also saw it for a split second as well in the opening. In the Sega logo, that was me playing. It's not like a scripted animation. Yeah, that. There's a TV box off screen in the top right corner of the level. If you break it, it drops a screen nuke power up, and if you shoot it, it then kills the Sega sign, which I thought was just a nice little Easter egg, so I wanted to start the game showing off that. Unfortunately, the sequel doesn't have any kind of Easter egg of the kind. It literally just does the default Sega load-in, which is probably why I don't have as fond of memories of it. Like, that was just the start, because it just doesn't have... Vectorman 2 doesn't quite have the charm that this game does in some ways. Like, as much as I criticise how ridiculously dumb of a setup the villain has, they strapped a nuke to his back, he's bad guy now, I at least appreciate that they tried, because the second game does not. And maybe one day I'll cover the second game, but I'm in no rush. I'm more than happy to just cover Vectorman 1 and then just never touch the sequel. I just like this game enough that I was like, yeah, sure, I'll cover it. Oh, shit. Well, the checkpoint's right here, so I can just carry on from that. I'm not fussed. I didn't realise the enemy was right there. That's probably the biggest thing they'll get you. Contact damage will be the biggest death of you in Vectorman. Just because I think the screen... It's not like super closed in, but sometimes it feels like ever so slightly more closed in than it needs to be. Like if it was zoomed out just a little bit more. Well, I say zoomed out. If everything was drawn slightly smaller, because it's sprite work, it wouldn't be a problem whatsoever. But as it stands, you're going to see me run into enemies more times than it's worth. Especially because Vectorman's not the slowest son of a bitch. Oh, and here's the end of the levels we drop on in. Not every level has a boss. In fact, most levels don't. It was just a tutorial level that had one. And then, like, so you get the minigame bosses like every 5 or 6 levels. But it's a set series of levels, because now we're on day 4, absolute zeros. It took a whole day to cross the water on foot, and I guess the rest of the day to get down to the bottom of it, for us to now do a vertical level where we have to climb back up. Because I think that's this level. God damn it. There's a jellyfish enemy right there. This game also does suffer the whole, if they're off screen, you can't harm them anymore. Like, enemies have a tendency to not respawn, thankfully. If you off-screen them, like if you kill them and then off-screen them, they don't respawn. But if you don't completely kill them and then off-screen them, they will get all their health back. Oh yeah, and Vectorman will make a sound every time you bonk your head. You will go, Ow, that reached! But the swimming power-ups are extra powerful in this level because it's straight vertical, so if you're, as long as you're holding up, you're making progress. And since you're invincible, you'll just power through enemies. If you're going for 100%, the swimming power-ups will be a bit of a waste of time. But I'm not fussed. As far as I'm aware, there is no reward for 100% in this game. It's just points. How many more points do you want? And the aim, you can't aim your gun with a separate analog stick or anything like that, because, you know, this is a Mega Drive game. It was 4 directions and buttons. So you can't, like, do anything. But something I wish they could have at least done is if you hold a button, Vectorman stands still so you can free aim. Like, that's not in this, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity, because you're going to see me have to make some annoying, not too precise shots, but precise enough shots as time goes on. That would be a lot less of a hassle if I could just, you know, stand still as we pick up the best power-up in the game, the shotgun. Well, the best power-up that's not the screen nuke, the shotgun. I just love the sound it makes as well, so I think it's the biggest thing for me. I'm easily pleased. But this game does have a very repetitive nature to it. You, like, the level design, it is one of those games where the level design only means so much when the aesthetic changes. Like, we got a boss coming up now, so I have to shut up for a sec. But a lot of it, when you go through it, you'll see what I mean. It's like, it's a different aesthetic, but we're doing the same things. We're going through the same notions. But this is a doubled header boss. The first piece is pretty easy, because as long as you follow it, it will never hit you. It's just slow. Which is why they give you the shotgun power up halfway through, because if you carry it on to the end, you can get through this quicker. It's the second part of the fight, is the fight that you're likely to die at if you're going to die at all. Just because you have to really pay attention to whether it's going to lay flat on the ground or stand up. If it stands up, you need to get to the other side of it. If it's laying down, you need to be off the ground, because it will keep on attacking ground height. Both of which can be easier solved by getting to the other side of it. It's just when it stands up, it's like your only real option is to get up and around it, because it will fire at too many ranges for you to duck under or just jump over easily. You need to get over it completely. But you can see what I mean. This boss is a pain in the dick. It's got a fair amount of health. It just takes forever when you do it this way. It's just completely safe. In fact, I'm one hit away from death. Of course, I'm going to take the safe mode. I don't care for time bonus. It's nearly dead now. It has to be. Like 1 or 2 more shots. Well, our shotgun's run out, so it needs to be dead. Is it dead? Yeah, it's dead. Alright, this is the second one. See, now it's low, it's going to be shooting hope. But now it's immediately stood up, so it's doing the long one, so we need to go over it. You can't off-screen the boss enough, but it doesn't... You can't off-screen the boss enough. If it's on the far left and you're on the far right, your shots won't do damage to it. So you do need to get close enough to it, but you can't off-screen it, kill it, kind of thing. Hey, another extra life. We managed to somehow survive. Day 5, the Arctic Ridge. You see what I mean? We've still got 1 health unit. I like that if you any light or shadow Vectorman goes across, it shares the sprite with your extra lives. Like you see, now we're in a darker caves, it's cut out. Now we're in a darker cave, you see the extra lives darken as well. It's probably just because of the Mega Drive's limitations. It shares the palette, like it shares the color scheme. So if Vectorman changes, the extra lives are forced to change. Sort of like when you go supersonic in a Sonic the Hedgehog game, and all the blue things in the environment suddenly start flashing yellow as well. Well, it's more Sonic 2 than Sonic 3, but you get what I mean. Like, it's a similar deal. It's just more, it's probably more Mega Drive limitations. But if it is intentional, I like it. So credit for it on whether it is meant to or not. Your extra lives show you what kind of lighting you're in. Which, to be fair, as a whole, the background is pretty good art for lighting and such. You do get a very good feel of where you are and what you're doing at all times. As I said, I like the aesthetic of a lot of this game. It just doesn't mean much because the level design doesn't elaborate as much as it could with its ideas, making a lot of it feel kind of samey, other than the rare new robots. And it's also kind of impressive for a Mega Drive game that it's not stuttering a little bit. Now we've got more visual effects kicking off here. I mean, I know it's not Sonic 3's level of visual quality, because Sonic 3, the moment you start playing it, you're like, oh god, yeah, the Mega Drive can't handle much more than this, or the Genesis if you're in the US. Ow. For a second I thought I died again then. So now I'm getting that paranoid shooting going on, where I'm shooting before I go, just because I know I've only got one health unit. Oh, this is invincibility. This is proper old school invincibility. Like, you shouldn't abuse it because it's on a time limit. But if you run at enemies, those orbs will hit them an instant kill, and you almost certainly, well, I say almost certainly, I don't know if it is certain, I've just never died when I've had it. I've never been hit while I've got it on. I've always just bum rushed at things and they've died. Oh, double score. Don't mind if I do. You can get double score, triple score, times 5 score, but times 5 you'll only ever find in like rare TVs. Like, they'll be hidden away. You're not just going to happen to stumble on them. At least it's very unlikely that you're ever going to just happen to stumble on them. Oh, we need a... yeah, right. If you have the invincibility stars flying around your power-up, you can break this for more rewards, but I didn't speedrun this level quick enough to get it. Oh, we got the shotgun again. I always forget what all the sound cues mean, so I always just pay attention to the bottom of the screen. The bottom of the screen does enough of a job informing you. Oh, this fucker. This is probably the most annoying enemy in the game. You don't need to kill it, and I'm not going to bother trying. You just need to damage it enough that it starts walking away. But you can't shoot its face because it's shielded. So you need to kind of diagonally down shoot at it to injure it from the top until you break the arm off. And then when you break the arm off, it will charge at you so you can get around it. Bye. Let's get out of here. Something that is kind of risky but can save your neck. The actual dash part of a double jump, like when you press it and you see the booster, for like a minute or second, you're an active hitbox that can hurt enemies. So if you position yourself properly, you can kill enemies with it and avoid taking damage. But on that note, I'm going to wrap this up as a part. So next time on Vectorman, we'll go to the second real zone of the game, since we're now done with the watery ice zone. But until then, you guys take care now.